Thomas here with Much Props, going to give you another how-to video. It is Christmas season. The Mariah Carey song is playing on repeat when you go into any store, and all of the decorations are out full blast at this point. So I thought, why not make some decorations myself this year? My family likes to watch very specific movies every year, and one of those is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So I was using that as my inspiration for this build, and I tried to think of, I want to build something relatively small because a lot of the things I build take up a lot of space. And I was trying to think of what is the smallest thing that I could build from the Grinch Who Stole Christmas. And it came to me, Cindy Lou Who. She is the smallest of the Who's. So I thought, why not make a cutout of her that can like stand on its own and be like a decoration on the floor or on a table. You know, there's that iconic scene of her like holding the Christmas ornament and it looks ginormous in her hand. That's the image that I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna make it out of foam, maybe some wire, and throw on some paint and call it a day. Today we are building Cindy Lou Who out of foam. Let's get to building. This really is a simple build that could be done with any of your favorite Christmas characters or for any holiday really. All you need is an image of your character, then simply print out the image to the size you want the cutout to be. This will act as your template and you can trace the outline. I'm going to use some 10mm EVA foam for most of this build. You could just as easily make it out of cardboard, XPS foam, wood, or any other number of rigid materials. I'm going to make mine super sturdy by making it into 2 layers with the ornament and the hand stacking on top of the base. I trace the pieces onto my materials and make modifications to the bottom of her dress to give it dimension and stability as it narrows quite a bit down at the bottom. To make sure my cutouts stay rigid, I'm going to insert a wire in the middle and up into the head. Because she narrows so much at the neck and at the ankles, I don't want those parts to start drooping over time. I mark the pathway I want this wire to go, bend the wire into the shape, and then cut out a channel to superglue the wire into. Once it's in place, I can then close up the two halves with some contact cement. With the construction of Cindy pretty much done, I need to now give her a base to stabilize the piece. It could be any shape you want, I just chose a circle for simplicity's sake. I trace a plate onto some 24mm foam and cut it out. If you don't have 24mm foam, that's okay. You could always stack up 2 or 3 layers of 10mm foam or use something heavier as the base. You just need something sturdy for them to sit on. I cut it out and sand over the rough bits with my rotary tool. Make sure to wear a respirator and work in a well-ventilated area while sanding EVA foam. You don't want to breathe in the dust, and you don't want to have to explain to others why your sneezes come out in different colors. Time for 2 coats of Plasti Dip. Then I cover Cindy Lou in a bright pink base color of spray paint. You could definitely spray paint most of this and mask off bits if you wanted to, but here in Texas, it's doing that thing where it's like, hey, it's winter, but it's not, 75 one day and 25 the next. I'm gonna paint it by hand for the rest of this with some acrylic paint. I mix up a peachy skin tone and hit her face and hands, then it's just a matter of waiting for bits to dry so I can move on to the next color. A heat gun on low or a hairdryer can drastically speed up this process. Now that all the base colors are down, I am switching over to an acrylic paint pen. I am using a U-Mark A10 here, which is similar to a Posca pen or a number of other acrylic pens out there. As you can see, I have quite a collection. This is one of 3 bags of paint pens that I have. Now I am doing the black outlines to bring the cutout closer to the cartoon reference. I find it easier to do my line work with these pens than trying to get my unsteady hands to make clean pulls with a paintbrush. The ornament needs its wire so it can be hung on the tree, and I thought it would be cooler to make this part a little more legit and 3-dimensional using more of that fencing wire I used earlier. With some pliers and wire cutters, I bend it into its basic shape, glue in the base, and then crimp my hook into place. I pretty much do the same thing for her antennas. Yes, antennas, antennae. She has them. You could Google search and read about what people say the reasoning is. Some of them are pretty hilarious. It's like got its own conspiracy theories behind it. And with that, I am finished and now off to build the next one. And we are finished. Here's the end result. Overall, I think it turned out pretty cute. Definitely something that you could easily build in just a couple of hours. And I purposefully left mine so that it detaches, so that when I'm ready to put the decorations up, it easily folds down. I also did not glue the antennas in, so I could do the same thing of pulling it and making it smaller. Or if somebody wanted to buy this, they could easily get it shipped to them and not cost a fortune with it standing that tall with the antennas out pre-done. But yeah, maybe you'll try and make one of these yourselves and impress your friends with your ability to pull something from an iconic Christmas cartoon, plop it on the floor, and bring some holiday cheer. It is possible. Maybe you'll get some...
Yay!
And inevitably, they're going to ask you, how'd you make that? You can give them one of these, tell them, much props. I'm going to go put this next to the Christmas tree, and maybe it'll get me some more presents. Peace out. If you enjoy what I do here on YouTube and want to see more builds like this one, please consider joining these awesome people listed here with me over on my Patreon to build a bigger, better, more creative community together.